Good evening and welcome once again to another episode of Caribbean Feedback. My name is Henry. Welcome one and all. Mr. Samuel Archer, Mr. Mark Chase, Miss Karin Forrester. How are you all doing this evening? Miss Rachel Chase, I see you joined us this evening. How are you?
Good. Greetings.
We do not have our latecomer, our problem child student.
Problems. She getting real problems. Plenty problems.
She will be stumbling in any moment. Well,
lot of problems. She must be eating something right now. Eating some oxtail and something.
Something.
Yeah, some.
Everybody all right? Is everybody all right?
Everything level.
All right. Blessings.
That's right.
As we proceed, Ms. Forrester.
To give the audience what they need.
Hi, everybody. My name is Karin Forrester. I'm with BantuKreations. BantuKreations offers beautifully made, African-inspired, lightweight, handcrafted, one-of-a-kind earrings in amazing shapes, shades, colors, and sizes. Don't let the Lord... Facebook as BantuKreations with a K. Back to you, Mr. Henry.
Thank you so much, Ms. Forrester. Mr. Mark Chase, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
I am Mark Chase of Chase Audit Services and Gaia Rap LLC. We provide financial counseling as well as audit services to virtually any business. If you have problems with the IRS or anyone else, hit us up.
And could you let us know, Miss Rachel Chase? Talk to us. I know you're just not there sitting next to your father. Tell us what you do.
Yes, I'm not just here to look pretty.
Somebody has to make me look better, you know?
That's a lot of work, bro. That is a lot of work.
Yes, I'm with Gaia Rap LLC, and I handle all of his, shall we say, less enjoyable phone calls, and I assist in the audit business that he has created for us, and I'm currently going to school for psychology as well. And so eventually I will be taking up on finding what is wrong with the rest of the population. Back to you, Henry.
All right.
So what is wrong with the rest of the population? So that is so. What I draw from that is that you okay?
No.
You want to say what's wrong with the rest of the population?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not lying. I'm not a liar. Therefore, I will say I have to find out what's wrong with the rest of us. I know what's wrong with me.
So you're telling us that something is wrong with the rest of us?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I need to take off my glasses for that one.
You sound like an offspring of this guy here. It's the same kind of thing. But that is another story. Samuel Archer.
Yeah, brethren. Yes. Greetings. Everyone, one and all. I am Sam Archer. From Tobago, actually. Sister Isle of Trinidad. And, a lot of water and sand and coconut and them kind of things. And I also hail from the Muzilog publication, muzilog.com, where music, entertainment, and culture lives. I am the recent author of the book Hybrid Executive, and this book helps you to understand the music business so you can get your game up. And that's what it looks like there. And tonight.
Hold on. Let's go back to your book for a second. Before you introduce the show.
Is this a trick question or
no? You always say that hybrid executive is for the. Give me your introduction again.
You want me to give you personally the introduction?
No, yeah, something I'm trying to get across here, because you're talking. Is this book strictly about the music business, or could someone who's in another field read this and get some knowledge about what it is?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I had a sample. I had a focus group, and these were people from different walks of life, and they were able to receive something from the book, even though they weren't involved in the music business. So it's also this book also falls under the self-help category, and motivation. So it's a lot of the principles I have in here. I speak on leadership and confidence and management and things of that nature, and how to open your mind and so on. So it's one of those books that, yes, it's geared for the musician and the upcoming artist, but people from other walks of life can read the book and get something from it. But you look like you have a specific question.
No, that was the question. I want to know if it goes beyond the music business.
Yes.
Does it teach obedience to let's say, to a woman who needs to understand that she needs to be obedient and not okay, maybe that's another book. All right, I was just trying to all right, moving right along. What is the introduction for the show?
Obedience, sir.
That's another book. All right.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So we getting ready for our no, everybody else. Anyone else had a question? Karen, you good over there?
I'm fine.
Karen is fine. And all right. I just making sure we didn't have any more questions, because we are about to do our regular thing that we like to do. And so let's begin. 10. All right.
32.
Episode number 32. All right.
Number 32. And like I always say, I am looking forward to episode 132.
Yeah.
After this, just what seemed like yesterday, and it shows what happened when you persevere, keep putting one foot in front of the other. Eventually, you will get.
I remember when I was 32.
I'm glad
I had hair that was almost similar to yours.
Who you talking to, Mark?
Let me see if I can find a small picture here. Nah, you're gonna see it good in here. You're gonna see it good on this one. But yeah, man, little vibes going,
Okay.
Yeah. But as a whole, next book, like, according to you. So
once again, I am Curtis Henry, and I am here this evening on behalf of Caribbean Chat. Caribbean Chat provides a platform where we celebrate the history and culture of Caribbean people in entertainment, the arts, politics, sports, education, and economics. We explore the many profound contributions that they have made to society. Look us up on YouTube at Caribbean Chat. That's chat with 2 T's, Caribbean Chat. Or you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And to all those people out there who are watching or listening to this show, whether it's live or you're catching it at a later date, understand that if you are not subscribed to Caribbean Feedback, you're missing out. You are missing out.
That's right.
So much valuable information that have gone by in the 32 episodes, and so much more valuable information that's yet to come. So we urge that you continue tuning in, subscribe to the channel, show us some love, leave us a comment, let us know what you feel about the channel, let us know what you feel about the content, and give us your suggestions if there is anything that you think we need to bring to the forefront, anything that you believe we need to discuss. Let us know your thoughts. This is not just about us, it's also about you, the viewers. So be part of the process and join us. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you a question. What exactly does it mean to change? The dictionary defines the word change as to make something or someone different, to alter or modify, or to replace or substitute one thing for another. With this understanding, it's rather difficult for me to understand how or why anyone would want to change someone's attributes. I'm not talking about changing someone in your life like an overbearing spouse or a disloyal friend. I'm not talking about attempting to make. No, I am talking about attempting to make someone over, to fit your ideal of who or what you think they should be. And to this, I ask the question, how dare you? How dare you? If I don't fit into the bill, then by all means, go ahead and replace me. Replace me, if you can. But more than likely, you'll end up with a shinier model. Yeah. Something that may look better, glitter a little more, but I can guarantee you it will be lacking certain characteristics that you could only find in the original. Try to make me over? Nah, it would never work. The me you see is the me I'll be. Work on you. And then maybe it will become evident that I need to make some adjustments in my attitude, in my habits, in my life. And then you'll find the new me that you're looking for. Let that change begin with you, and don't ever try to change anyone. People change when they are ready to. They have to make changes for them, not for you. Don't try to make me over. Panelists, I want to hear your thoughts on this evening. What are your thoughts on those? I still don't find the adjective to them. People who try to come into your life, whether it's on a job, in a personal relationship, and try to change you. There are some people I would really like to change. I would like to change some of their habits of showing up late.
They come in late to the program. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Light them up.
Pull down the top of your screen, please.
And they need to fix the camera. Yes, work with them.
No, that's too much now. You chop off the top of your head. There you go.
Dr. Judith.
You see what she do? She just sit down backstage and listen. And then she come in. Yeah, she just jump in. Hear the whole conversation, you know.
Yeah.
She just listen to the whole conversation.
That's right.
We call that Mako Mamako. She just talk she is.
Oh, let's start up.
Good evening, Dr. Judith.
You don't know?
No, I got some more for you later. Don't worry.
Oh, please. Good evening, all. Seriously, I signed on and I did it wrong, so I had to sign on again. I'm sorry.
Welcome anyway.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
So wait, you have no idea what we're talking about. You didn't
Yes,
hear?
I do.
Oh, you does?
That lady there sent me the information.
Which one? Wow, she's on again.
Oh, the internet probably cut out there.
Karin, your mic is muted.
What?
I'm sorry. I want to participate, but right outside the window is this incredible argument happening. That's why I said let me mute until you ask me for a commentary rather than have
hearing it. Maybe it might be affecting you, but we are not hearing it on this.
Well, that's good.
So, Dr. Judith, you were saying something?
I'm sorry, I got cut off. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, the wheel and come again, man. Your wheel and came again.
Were you saying anything of importance?
Excuse me?
Were you saying anything of importance?
I was saying that the more mature lady there, she's the one that gave me the information about what the topic is tonight. Okay, so you want to fight about it? I don't fight. Okay. So, what were you asking me, sir?
I asked if whether or not you heard the intro to the show.
Yes, I did. I came in just in time to hear you saying that.
Just in time to hear that.
And Miss Forrester had already informed me of what the title is. And nobody can change me unless it's necessary to be changed. Okay?
Why you say that with such an attitude? Is this how you feel about... No, it's okay. Is this how you really feel about this thing about people?
No. I don't want nobody to bother me. Just leave me alone. That's how I really feel.
pretty much, that's my attitude when it comes to it, you know. Because if I met someone and I was good enough to woo you, I was good enough to become your friend, I was good enough to become your lover, I was good enough to become your mate, good enough to become your husband, how come all of a sudden you want to start telling me how to dress? No, take that off.
You know what I just heard before I came on, sir? No, I'm Dr. Henry. You know what I just heard? I heard that you must always know who you are because people are willing to change you. Just before I came on, you must always know who you are. Be defined because people are always willing to define you from their perspective. So you have to know who you are. And sometimes knowing who you are can be very intimidating because people can't just take you and spin you around like that when you know who you are. So
when you don't know who you are, they can spin you around.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. Which part of that did you not understand, Dr. Henry?
I said, she's about to cut you low. You understand?
I'm sorry, sir.
You see the look on she did? You're about to cut it low with one straight razor. The look on she face.
Nah. I don't need to cut anybody. People usually cut themselves. My hands are clean. So, but I'm very serious about that. I'm very serious about that.
Question for everybody here. Have any of you ever encountered a mate who claimed to love you, and then after a while they tried to convert you into someone else?
Oh,
they tried to make you over?
Oh, yes. Oh.
Well, you know what? Seriously, I've never had a mate try to do that. I've had women friends who try to do that to me, but not people I've been married to. People I've been married to are smarter than that. Because they know me on a more intimate level. So they don't, I mean, they already know that I'm a little off. So, you know.
You're a little off, Dr.
Just
Judith?
a little off.
A little off, okay. Now, let me make a note of that.
Well, you always hope that someone that knows you on that intimate level, that they would appreciate the quirks that you have in your life and accept them for who they are.
So, I'm sorry, I missed. Said it again.
I said it. You'd hope that somebody that knew you on that intimate level, that they appreciate the quirks, the ups, the downs, and everything.
Yeah. My ex-husband actually told me that he said, I can tell you one thing, I was never bored with you. And so that says a lot for me. It says that he saw me as I was, and I have my, inadequacies and issues. But basically, he chose to enjoy the exciting parts of me. Sorry.
So if you see that you can, let's say we bring it on the relationship level, and you see that you, and this goes for women or men, you see that you can improve, or there's certain things you can encourage your mate to improve on.
That's a different story.
That's
a healthy thing.
Is that a makeover there, or that's?
It is a makeover, but it's healthy. It's different from saying to somebody, "I don't like how you do this. I don't like how you do that," and then the person, everything about them. And like Dr. Henry said earlier, the reality is, if you met me this way, you said you're in love with me. Why all of a sudden am I just not good enough?
Good
for
enough.
You? Wrong. So, I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't. I think it's more subtle than that.
Sometimes it is.
Everybody when they meet another person, we're all on our best behavior until we get to know each other. And you're never on your best behavior, man. You don't know how to behave. You know, I'm beginning to question whether you are from Jamaica or not, because you would have had a mother exorcism just lick you until you're behind raw. Because you don't know how to behave.
I agree.
You don't.
I take all of that as a compliment, sir.
What, man?
Karin.
Yes, sir.
Karen's tired.
She's hearing the arguments outside.
No, they're quieting down a little bit. Yeah, it was pretty loud for me for a while, so I was like, let me hit the mute for that.
Somebody was making over somebody outside?
No, a whole group, not just two people. Anyway, in response to why you cued me in, my favorite two lines come from this song. It says, "I'm not here to live up to your expectations. Neither are you here to live up to mine." And I live by that. You know, I do understand, Sam, when you make adjustments for a lover or a spouse or a partner, or however you want to put it. But other than that, you have to both agree. You know what I mean? Rather than having the person make an assumption that you're gonna just do a complete 180 just to please them. But if you can assess it and say, you know what, I need to improve on a couple of things, let me try. That's different than somebody trying to just change who you are on a core level.
So are we saying that we need to have a conversation first?
Conversations need to be had. And I'm open to all conversations.
If you just decide to help that person improve, then now
yes, I'm coming too.
So at that point you're making them over.
Improve.
But you say improve, Sam, according to whose standards?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Who is making that assessment? You see, if you're having a conversation and you say to your partner, you know, I don't like the fact that you drink, smoke, whatever, a particular qualifier.
I don't like how you burp.
You know, and can you cut back on this or that? And the person says,
farting all over the house. I don't like how you fart all over the house, man.
Well, the fart you can't stop. Change the diet. Change the diet, it'll be less farting.
Man, farting all over the house, man. People
that is just a dietary change thing. That is not a major issue. Those are little minor, things.
Stinking up the whole house, man.
No,
the first thing you have to realize is when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Believe them. Because when you first meet them, they'll let you know. They're going to be on their best behavior. But they will let you know. They will let you know. Listen, if you catch me with a glass in my hand, trust and believe it's full of bourbon. Okay? I'm letting you know who I am. If I get up and you see this arm go over here, I smoking. I'm letting you know because I do it less to impress you.
Oh boy.
No. Mark, I remember the days when I used to go to reggae dance and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Once I go in there, I go to the bar and I buy a Guinness.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just the thing. You profile with a Guinness in your hand. But trust me, I take about 2 sips out of that for the night. And I hold in that same Guinness till it get hot. And I end up resting it down before I walk outside. That was just the profile.
I would be the guy asking you, don't waste that, man. Give it to me.
That, as Sam said it best, that was my representative. I was fitting the profile of how I'm supposed to look in a dance with a Guinness in my hand. But I don't drink Guinness. So, like I said, I might take 2 sips for the night, but for the rest, I'm just profiling with stout in my hand. But I ain't drinking that. Mm-hmm. So you're saying when people show you who they are, you're looking at the representative, you're not knowing the true me.
Yeah, and when they're also more pleasant, you better watch out.
Because
that's a representative too.
So you know, you know, women are known to be nurturers, right? Is that a true thing? Women, they're
Sometimes.
nurturers.
Sometimes.
Okay.
So if a woman, hold on, if a woman wants to, you know, there's a guy, he, you know, maybe he need to clean up a little bit. He has some teeth issues, and you know, need a food bath. Need some food, right? And you know, maybe, you know, he needs some encouragement to, you know, go out and get a little work and thing, you know, So
and I need to, sorry.
So would that be overstepping her bounds to help him to improve the gentleman?
Aye.
In you know, would that be a makeover situation?
Oh,
Listen.
yes.
Aye, Sam.
Yes,
Sam.
my dear.
I am not. I'm too. How should I put it? I wouldn't say too old, because I think when I was 20 and 30, I still felt the same way. I am not here to improve you. I met this guy one time in Walmart, a local Walmart. Tall, good looking. The moment he smiled, I could see what he ate 3 days ago on his teeth. I chose not to allow that one moment to color my full image of him, because he was highly intelligent, school principal. And I saw him again at his request, and he still had the same food that was in his teeth. And then, of course, the alcohol was there too. I was like, you know what? You have a good one. I am not here to do a makeover. No. It's one thing to have some minor things and you say, baby, can you once you're in a relationship, you can make compromises, and you concede, you compromise on a couple of things. But I'm not here to make anybody over.
Well, my point is, though, we're talking about don't make me over. Like, it's not really about you having to make improve someone, but somebody might feel, you know what, this person, if I could just do XYZ.
But you're saying the same thing. That's the same thing.
But
you feel that they need to be to improve on.
Right,
everybody needs improvement in some way or the other. That's
the
reality. But it's the severity of the case. It's how serious, how deep the improvement has to be.
The degree of intensity.
You can start a house from scratch, or you can build onto a house that already exists. I prefer the second one. A lady said to me not long ago, a friend of mine, she said to me, well, you know, Judith, you've been alone a while. I have a cousin in Jamaica. All you have to do is fix his teeth. I said, you fix his teeth for him. No, seriously, if I was in a relationship with somebody already and something went wrong with the teeth, I'm right there. Right. Let's get your teeth fixed. Let's go to the doctor. You know, if you need your clothes kind of, you know, crazy. I said, let's go shop. Yeah, those are, but it's something that he has to agree to need, because some people don't think anything is wrong with them. Mm-hmm. Even if your teeth mash up, and your clothes, people say, "I always try to change me." When you call it improvement,
right. So he don't need to be made over with his teeth issue.
But you can encourage him. I don't see anything wrong in encouraging him.
Okay.
I remember. Go ahead, Rachel.
I was saying there's a difference between having a relationship where you are both encouraging to be the best version of themselves, because you are encouraging them to build upon themselves. You to go to school for what they want to achieve, to invest in their business, to invest in themselves, to invest in their children, and to invest in their home. And so ultimately you are encouraging each other to do the best for each other, but also for themselves.
But initially to get someone to that place, you have to make some statements. You have to say some things to them. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to find it offensive. Yeah. They're going to find it a problem. that you're suggesting that something. So the thing is that how you approach it, and it can be done. How you approach it takes a lot of time. I have a tendency to take time with people. I can rephrase my words, all that good stuff. But the other thing is that people intrinsically, they feel that something is wrong with them. You think something is wrong with them. Why you want them to change? So it's all good and it sounds good, but the truth is, first of all, let's be real. If you're healthy mentally, not perfect because none of us are, but if you're healthy and you're going through life, you should be able to recognize some deficits in yourself. You should be able to recognize that if you're going to be talking to somebody, that you should be careful how your teeth looks, and you know, and you have to be careful not to have any booger in your nose. I mean, these things are serious. It's a serious thing. You have to be self-aware. So if you're not self-aware, a person that's not self-aware is not good around me. They can't be, because I'm aware. And I'm going to say something at some point or the other. So people have to be more aware, and they have to consider what you consider a deficit to be a deficit, because some people don't think anything is wrong with how they are. So when you point out
think that deficits, what they consider a deficit, is just for them. Let's take, for example, your children. Okay? Look, I got a bunch of them. Each one come out different. Okay? My son, who's the biggest man I ever seen in my life, sounded like a little lamb when he came up. That was him crying. That was him crying. And he's been that way his whole life. Not a word out of him. My daughter Gabriella came out hollering. She's still hollering. All right? You say, okay, typical Caribbean thing. If you don't act right, you're running around the house, breaking up the thing. Tolerance. Then an alphabet beating. I'm going to beat the bad behavior out of you behind. Okay? You're making the kid over. Kid telling you, I'm rambunctious. I like to break things. And what you've taught him is, oh, I just got my behind beat. That means don't do it in front of you. That's all you taught them. Don't do it in front of you. The kids
in front of somebody else.
Okay? Then you're getting the call from school. You know, oh, he done jump on the boy, broke the boy's lunchbox, tore up the papers, don't turn in the homework. Now it's the next thing. You're giving the catch a beating. Don't do it at school. That's all you're doing. You're making them over instead of working with what they have. That's the thing, Sam, you're talking about improvement. Are you really improving them, or are you improving to make it more comfortable for you?
And that's very true. That's very true.
So let me shift it over to somebody who is a hoarder. And the court has said we are sending a team to clean your place. So now you're going through the process, right? Now, I used to look at the one on TV, and at some point I wanted to just jump in the TV and just clean the place.
No.
I understand, but my point is that's just how I felt. So it was, I had to work through my annoyance of where they were trying to convince the person to be part of the process. And eventually I kind of realized, like, yeah, you know, if they're not part of the process, it's you know, they're not really gonna heal from that. But I'm just using the order as an like that's really all the way left.
But let me share something. Let me share something with you, Sam. When I lived in Florida, I worked for the city of Miramar briefly, and I worked for, I forget the name of the area that I worked. But it had to do, one of the things that I had to do, or they had me do, was they had a woman who's a hoarder. And she had become a problem in that that little area of Hollywood. She had become a problem. And rats and stuff were running out of her house. She was a hoarder. You said hoarder, brought it back to me. She was a hoarder. It was so packed. The house was so packed, you could barely push the door open. She was sleeping in our car. And then she started hoarding in the car. And so they had been trying to convince her, apparently, for a few years to let them bring in one of those big old dumpsters and clean out her house. And she would have nothing to do with it. So a white woman. And so they brought me in to talk to her. It was so bad. The son would come home on his bike and I get sleep in the car with her. They couldn't get in the house. That's how bad it got. So I met her, one of them, Kmart it was at the time. And, I sat down and talked to that lady. I talked to her. It wasn't that long. And I don't remember what I said to her. But let me tell you something. In no time, my girl said, okay, let them bring it. And she agreed to have the dumpster come and empty out her house. So the thing is that she had to see from what I said to her that it was a good idea to do it. You understand?
Do you really believe that she saw it? Or did she see how it was affecting other people? That's the thing. Just what I just said. We make changes in people for our own comfort. The people next door got rats running across, roaches with machetes taking pictures of them naked, all kind of mess. They don't like it.
I don't think that was it. I don't think it was about how she affected people, because this had been going on for a while and she knew it was affecting people. It was affecting the community. I think what it is I spoke to her from her perspective, not mine. Because I mean, psychologically speaking, mental health wise, Mark, you're correct. First of all, we change people for our own convenience, or we try to. We try to make people do what makes us feel good, what makes us feel comfortable, because the hardest thing to do in life is change. So what we do is we try to make other people change so we don't have to change. So that's what she was doing. Was she basically was saying, listen, I know they say rats coming out, it don't matter to me. But how I approached her, I was giving her a different attitude, a different look at what was going on. And as a matter of fact, she probably was antisocial. So telling her that it bothered the society, it probably only excited her more. Because there are people who love to irritate people. So telling her, you want the community to accept you. She didn't want anybody to accept her. So I had to put it on another plane. And that's when she had to see something for her in it. Because that's how we are. We change when we see we're going to get something from the situation. So however it came about, she agreed, and the city was very grateful, because I'd only been there 6 months and I'd been able to solve one of the biggest problems that they had. But that's a God thing. But the thing is, people want people to change, because whatever it is that's present is uncomfortable. Very few people want anybody to change because everything is going good.
But, as you said that, Judith, that last statement, it reminded me of a comic strip I saw one time where this girl, she met a drummer from a rock and roll group. Now, he had the long hair that he put in a ponytail, all the tattoos, and he dressed the part, the tight leather pants and all of that. Rock and roller. And she fell in love with him. They formed a relationship. And somewhere down the line, she started telling him, well, maybe you need to cover up your tattoos and not wear them outside so much every day. Before you know it, he started wearing long thing. And then she said, but you have on all this rocker clothes and the leather pants. You need to change up your thing. Before you know it, he was in a suit. Then she convinced him to take off the jewelry. And then she convinced him to cut his hair. And one day she turned around and she looked at him and she said, I went out to this relationship. He said, why? But we love each other. She said, I don't know who you are anymore.
And it's true.
That's the danger of people coming into your life and trying to change you. This is what I said earlier. If you fell in love with me, the person you met, which is all of this, all of this, then all of a sudden you want to tell me, oh, you need to start twist your hair. you need to start twist it and get the roots in, and you need to color the beard, and maybe you need to cut it down a little bit. No, who are you trying to make me into? That is not the individual you met.
You're trying to make me into them.
That's not gonna work. Not for me, not in any relationship. And I don't care whether it's a personal relationship or a job.
This is
one of the things I also say, and I've had this done to me quite a few times, where you go looking for a job and they basically close the door in your face.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, you're the one that's losing out, not me. Because I know I am a lot of self-confidence. I'm bringing a lot of skill set to your establishment. And if you choose to leave me out because of what you see and you don't like, then that's your loss. But I'm not going to conform to your liking. My former employer said this to me. I said to him, you know, I'm the only person in this company that can work all the way from the design room in the front office to the workshop. I could be part of your sales team. I can do the installation. I can go represent the company. I'm the only person in this company that can do that. And he said, oh, you know, you're right. But are you willing to cut your hair?
That didn't make any sense.
And I just looked at him and walked off. I was, no, you're out of place. You're out of place for even asking me that. Don't try to make me over. If I have the skill set, then deal with that, employ that. And this is one thing I appreciate with modern corporate America, places like Google, where they allow their employees to be who they are. They bring the skill set. Come to work on your skateboard. Come to work on your hoverboard. Come to work on your bicycle. We have places for you to put that while you work. They encourage people to be who they are and not try to turn them into something. Let me pull along this a bit. Another thing came to mind. A hotel I worked on in South Beach called Fahina. The owner is a billionaire, and he encourages workers to come to work as you are. Do not try to cover up your tattoos. Come with the spike here, all the piercings, the earrings. And those are the people that work in his hotel. Real people. And he will not have them conform to try to look like anyone else to be employed in his establishment. Be who you are.
But Curtis, you know something? In addition to what you're saying there, what eventually happens in life is that the less you push at the change sometimes comes. My husband changed a lot. I didn't push at him. You understand? So even in employment and what you're saying there, somebody when you're given the liberty to be who you are, you might one day wake up and say, you know what, maybe I need to cut my hair. Has nothing to do with the company, has nothing to do with the boss. But you as an individual might feel you need to do this. And they'll say, oh, it finally got him, he changed. But in other words, sometimes the less we push, even in a personal relationship, the less we push. I saw my husband, seriously, from a pathological liar, because that's what he was when I met him. But the more truth I spoke was the less lies he could speak. Because if you keep lying to me and I don't buy into the lie, and you want to be with me, you're going to do something. I never told him he had to stop lying, but he stopped lying because he recognized that I prefer truth. And since he wanted to be with me, the guy stopped lying. So the thing is that sometimes we need to love people into change. And I'm talking about change like honesty, not necessarily clothing, but honesty, that's vital. For me, it's vital. And this man changed right in front of me. So if we keep pushing at people, and especially, like I said, it's not about clothing. It's about some basic things. For me, it's honesty. It's being direct. It's being willing to talk, to communicate, stuff like that. That's what's important to me. So that's sometimes people change.
Two things I want to. You mentioned about modern things. There was a punk rocker in New York that used to play in a place called CBGB's down in the Village. His name was Sid Vicious. He had the spike hair. He had with closed pit or whatever the
Piercings.
yeah,
Piercings.
through his ears, through his nose, spiked up here. He did a mess, one mess. I saw him on a television show the other day, and he was talking about his experiences. Well, he's bald now, and he's not wearing the baby pins through his ears. He still got the tattoos, but he looks like a 65-year-old businessman, which is what he is. Life forced him to change. Nobody told him. Life, his hair fell out. It wasn't practical for him to jump off the stage into a mosh pit. Something will break.
Himself.
You know? So does he still play the same music? Trust and believe, I heard him. But he's a little slower. He got a little less hair. You know, and sometimes life forces you to change.
So Mark,
I will tell you one thing. There's a young lady I know, I'm not going to mention her name, that I met at a bar. As an outdoor bar. It's in Miami. It's called a Shack. It's a very famous Caribbean bar, one of the first. It literally looks like a rum shop at home. It got 4 poles, a tin roof with a bar in the middle of it. And I used to like to go there. I have a drink, a lime, I'm having a good time. This young lady was going to change me. She was going to change me. Mark, you really shouldn't go there. It's not good people. I said, plenty of good people there. Why don't you go to church with me?
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
And you know what? I said, you know what? I'm not afraid of church. I said,
church afraid of you?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I going to tell you one thing. I looked her in the eye. I said, church is not a sanctuary for the saints. It's a hospital for the sinners. So I in there with the rest of my people. All right. When she found out, when her congregation was coming up to me and shaking my hand, I saw you at the Shack on Saturday night. How was it? And she was shocked. She thought she was going to change me. But that's what people do. It made her uncomfortable until she found out that half of the people that's going to her church who are sanctified was drinking with me Saturday night. Sometimes you're
something, but something about what you just said, Mark. One of the things about change, and it's happened to me. Sometimes we meet people that want us to change for good reasons, and it takes wisdom to not struggle and just to be rebellious, just to be rebellious. Smart people, and I'm going to leave that word just where I left it, where I said it. Smart people can know that, what, this is good for me. It might not be your clothes or it might not be your hair, but something else that somebody might not even say, change this, but something in the relationship that says, you know what, I have a feeling that if I do this, it's going to improve, especially if it's a romantic relationship. It's going to improve the situation. But we have to be willing to change and not always.
I just
go ahead, Karin.
I just wanted to jump in a little bit because we've heard from the perspective of men and how women are trying to change them. But culturally, we're taught in this culture that we need to have and maintain high self-esteem. But we're constantly, as women, being told that we're not the right age, we're not the right color, we're not the right body shape. And that is reinforced in every industry. How can you consistently tell someone over and over, you're telling them that they're not good enough? They're not good enough. And that enforces low self-esteem. And then somebody comes along and say, why do you not have more confidence? Because I'm being told I'm not the right age, color, size. Nothing is right about me as far as certain forces are concerned. That is an amazing thing to have to deal with. And I grew up here, so I know of what I speak. You know, I never fell into this thing about this Barbie doll image of what I think is of what is supposed to be beautiful. Never believed in any of that nonsense. The blonde hair, the flowing hair, the this. You know, never bought into any of that. You know, but I know that a lot of people do, which is why the hair industry and the makeup and the nail industry is huge for women of color in this country. Not because
Karin.
they can't feel beautiful otherwise, but because they're being told you're not the right age, you're not the right color, you're not the right size. Nothing is
But
right
you know
about
what?
Karin,
Even though
Karin.
it's less pronounced, men face the same things. I mean,
not in the same degree, not to the same degree.
Not to the same degree. But men, fat men, you know, guys who are overweight, guys who are too dark, the men have a lot face from, especially in this time when women are so specific about what they don't want. They want the six. I saw a story the other day. It's a real story, a real life story. And the guy that was in love with this woman was not tall, he was dark, and he was short, and he wasn't handsome. Like I said, it's a real story. But let me tell you something. Now, let me not say but. I hate that word to put but there. This guy absolutely loved her. And she loved him. But a part of her was struggling for that 6-foot guy, especially the light-skinned guy, and all that nonsense. And she really did love him, but she had to get rid of some misperceptions in her head before she almost lost him. And she turned around and saw him and said, okay, you know what? She had some other issues from childhood and whatever, but she was able to say, you know what? He might not be the typical and what everybody considers to be Mr. Wonderful, but he loves me. And so it's across the board, less for men, but still it's there too.
Well, let me go back for a second. I wanted to ask Karin something. Do you believe that cultural preferences limits your true potential in society?
Preferences in your partner?
Cultural preferences.
In your partner or in general?
No, in yourself. In yourself. For yourself.
Cultural preferences.
Light skin, the this, the that, all that foolishness.
No, she spoke about, you spoke earlier on about your unwillingness to conform into how society think you should be. But what you're holding on to, what you consider your true identity, do you think that limits your potential?
Not necessarily. I don't, my personal preference to try to be as natural as possible, natural diet, maintain myself in a certain way, live my life, with some integrity and stuff. That doesn't change the core of who I am, and that doesn't limit me. If anything, that opens up my world.
I think culturally, or at least societally, the best way to go about it is to pick the pieces that are, for lack of a better word, reasonable. Be truthful, be honest, have some integrity, have some self-esteem, have some self-confidence to you. And you use this as platforms to build yourself up. You don't use them as limits. You use them as something to start from.
I understand what you're saying. See, because we have come to a place where, I mean, seriously, we are at a place in this world, not just this country now, where a lie is the truth and the truth is a lie. I mean, people take facts and say facts are lies. People twist. I mean, people don't have to agree or believe, but the Bible said it would happen. You would come to a place where the lie becomes the truth and vice versa. And that's what's happening. And it's almost now as if it's kind of acceptable to lie. It's acceptable to not be who you are. It's acceptable. It's very unacceptable for a lot of people when I talk about God. But that's their issue. I mean, I really don't have a problem. I know who I am and what I'm doing. But at this point in our lives, in this country, in this world, where people consider truth a problem, it's annoying. Good, integrity. That's just, I mean, come on.
How can truth be a problem?
No. It is, but it is a problem for people that don't like truth, because truth is uncomfortable. Truth is uncomfortable. Truth will make you do things you never thought you could do, because it keeps you awake. It juke you. But guess what? Not everybody responds to the joke. They'll know it's a lie and they continue to tell a lie. So that's part of our problem in relationships now, that people come to you. You never meet that real person. They say just about anything they think you want to hear. And then later on you get into all these other problems. But the truth of the matter is that we are living in a society that's very much based on the facade. The car, the house. People can be, I saw a Mercedes the other day, and part of it was busted. And the part that was busted looked like plastic. And I thought to myself, imagine all this money and all this big thing, and it's just as much plastic as a Chevrolet that you see get hit. So what's the big deal? We're living a life of facades. That's all not everybody, but that's what we're doing. So like you said, Karin, you live a life where you're natural, you do this. People find that a turnoff. Now, it might not be the people that you like, but I'm telling you, people do not. I mean, even when I wear my hair like this, black men get upset with me.
I am not afraid to tell people that please don't make your issue mine. I'm not with that. I'll tell you that straight. Who can't deal with it, hush.
Let me tell you something else. I was talking to this young lady the other day about women saying they're Christians, because we can say it here and do something else. And I was telling her about having gone out with this guy, and the first time we went out, I didn't plan it. We were talking, whatever we were talking about, it just popped out of my mouth, and I said, you know what? I cannot imagine myself. Now we're all adults here, right? I cannot imagine myself throwing up my legs on a Saturday night in bed and going to church on Sunday. I can't, and I'm not married to you. I can't imagine that, because for me, it would hurt me. I mean, I'd be so disgusted with myself.
How about Friday?
Thursday, give me a couple of days to wear off. But what I'm saying is, you know what this young lady said to me? She said, you know what?
It can't be fresh.
No, it can't be fresh. It's too close. The memory is too close. So what this young lady said to me the other day.
You're working with Thursday?
Huh?
Thursday.
Yeah, that's a little better. Not so fresh. Not so fresh in the memory.
But Judith, let me stop you for a second.
Let me say this. This young lady said to me.
No, answer this in what you're saying.
Okay.
Since you're talking about the whole religious thing.
It's not religious.
What about religious people who try to impose their belief on people with scare tactics?
Okay.
In religion.
Listen. You know
trying
what she
to
said
change people and tell you, if you don't do this, you're going to burn in hell. Listen, that is trying to convince people also.
I agree with that. I don't know too many people saying that anymore anyway, because everybody trying to form in line and do the same thing. So I don't think, there are not many people talking about damnation and hell, not even pastors. People talking about pleasure and how you can get a husband, how you can get a car. That's what pastors are talking about now. It's a prosperity thing. But this young lady said, you know what? I said, you know what happens to men? A lot of men who you tell that stuff, I'm not doing that and I'm saved. First of all, I don't talk that way. I don't tell anybody about I'm saved. I just tell them, I ain't going to do that. You know what she said? The men end up being annoyed and disappointed because no matter how, I'm not going to use that word, I was going to say doggish. No matter how difficult a man is in terms of his sexual desires and his behaviors and stuff, when you tell him that you're not something, some men decide, well, I'm going to prove you're wrong. That's now his job to make sure you do what you say you're not going to do. Now, she said, unfortunately, she said, I didn't carry through. I didn't carry through. I said those words, but then I went and I broke my promise to myself. So the thing is, that relationship is what makes me do what I do, not religion. Relationship is why I do what I do. But there are many people who say, I'm not going to do it. Let me tell you something. If I tell you, believe me, that's what I'm going to do. And I mean, this fella tried to break me down different ways. And one day he actually did like this to himself. He tapped himself down there. This works, you know. I said, good, I hope it worked for you. I don't care about that. I made a decision. So you can carry that. You can carry, because listen, like you just said, the thing is this. I can want you. I can desire you. Now, this is just plain English. I can desire a man. I can want him. But if that is what is going to define everything, we don't need to even be together. Because that's not the core of relationship, as far as I'm concerned. That's a big part of it. It's important, but that's not the core for me. So when I say what I say, I meant it. He thought he could talk me out of it. So he's telling me a whole bunch of stories. He could talk from now to kingdom come. You know where he is? Gone. 2 years now. Gone. Don't play with me.
Gone
but not every...
Gone?
With the wind. Gone with the wind.
But listen, what it is that to be ourselves, we have to be willing to possibly lose. We think lose something or lose someone. If I'm losing you because of the intrinsic part of me being who I am, I haven't lost anything. And that is what I think people need to know who they are and decide. Like Sam said, in a way, there's some things you can work with. And Karin said it too. There's some things you can work with. The teeth thing and all those things, those are, you know, those are different issues.
Cosmetics.
But there's some core issues that we should be able to work out amongst ourselves and say, you know what? And I think Rachel just said it. It's like, you know what? This is good, and that is good, and that is good. You know what? There are enough pluses. Let me see if I can work with this. But let me tell you one of the disasters of making over or changing or whatever it is. Sometimes the person that you think you made over, you made them over for somebody else. Because
a lot of ex-wives say that.
Yeah, when they get to the changed person, they go, oh, sure. And they start look at you like, I can do better than that. Human beings are strange. That's why some people keep just what they have. They never try to improve it because they're scared to lose it. Because when people become better, they sometimes look at you and wonder and think, I can do better than that. And
you know, there was a situation, Judith, some years ago. There was a situation some years ago where this guy came up from Jamaica. He sent for, I don't know whether or not it was his wife at the time or girlfriend, whatever, brought her to America, put her through school. She didn't have to work. He did everything, put her through school. She went to nursing school, came out a nurse, started making her own money. And I think he fell ill. And then she looked at him and said, I can't see myself taking care of you for the rest of my life.
No.
You know, she came from nothing. And he's the one that built her up.
It's not.
And all of a sudden now she's up here and he wasn't good enough.
It's not where she came from. It has nothing to do with where she came from.
No, when I say nothing,
did she truly care for this person beforehand? And that's what we're looking at in that situation. She didn't really care for this person.
But there are men who choose women who are in that situation on purpose. So that's real. There are men in this world, and vice versa. Women do it too. There are men who choose women who have less than, who have 2 children, 3 children, and they say, I can help her. And they have all these lovely terms that they use. And all along, part of it is maybe their self-esteem is low, but they need somebody who's dependent on them to feel good about themselves. And they marry this woman or whatever, and they send for her, and she comes. Why didn't he become? I mean, a lot of men who help women to become nurses are not in any high-paying job. They might be an electrician. Electricians get paid well. Plumbers get paid well. But the men that usually do this don't usually think very highly of themselves. And I know one right now is coming to mind. So what he does, he takes this, it's like the potter and the clay, and he put her on the wheel, and he's making her over. And when you look, he was making her over so that she could be his and his alone. But that's not how you get loyalty. That's not how you get love. And some men believe that the more I fix her and the more I make her dependent on me, she won't go anywhere. And I will have her, which usually it does not work. It blows up in his face. But a lot of men who do that, and I know that for a fact from counseling, for doing marriage counseling in South Florida, especially Jamaicans, they have come to me and they try, but you know, when she come to America, she changed everything. I said she was always who she is. She was always that person. And yes, when she met you, you had a plan for her. She had a plan for you too. Don't fool yourself. People are just more honest.
Nobody wanted to be made over. Nobody wanted to compromise and work.
But some people compromise because they're going to get something out of it. Some people give the impression, you know, yes, sweetheart, yes. And they cook the rice and peas and they cook it every Sunday and they cook the curry goat. And,
that's right.
And as soon as they get what they want, go straight to buy your food. I'm not cooking. I'm not in the mood for it. A lot of
let me ask you something. Let me ask, I want everybody to sort of answer this, you know, or Karen's with you. How important is influence on somebody rather than trying to impose one's belief on them?
How important is influence? I'm living in my own spirit. I'm sorry.
Oh, Karin, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm living in my own spirit. If what I do influences you, fine. But I'm not actively trying to say, oh, look at me. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Why don't you follow me? I've never been that person. You know, I'm just responsible for this. That's it. That's it. I'm not trying to influence. I'm not trying to change. When I was in my 20s and 30s, yeah, you know, with the guy, you know, and I'm a little OCD trying to make some adjustments in the home and all of that nonsense. I'm over that. I'm so over it.
But you know something, Karin, as a woman, I'm going to share this with you. I listen to you and I respect, of course, I respect you and what you're saying. But what I think tends to happen to some of us, and I'm not saying it to you, it's to some of us, is that we get to a place where we say like what you're saying, and if the right quote unquote person comes along, it changes. How we behave with that person changes how we behave. So some of the things that we say, this is my view on it, we say it because of past experiences. We say it because of the mistakes we have made before. We say it because I don't want to go back to what I did before, and that didn't work.
Agree with that.
The problem is that I think, and this is where I want to believe I am, and I'm working on it, is to be in a place where what happened. There are certain mistakes that I made that the memory of it is annoying to me that I made those mistakes. But I have got to come to the place where I forgive myself, and then hopefully, if it's God's will, I can allow somebody in, an imperfect person who will be, I'm imperfect, they're imperfect, and we work things out we find out how to work things out. But what can happen is that we become so stoic and we become so resolute about what has happened and what's not going to happen again. I find it happening to me in the past where I say, no, what happened before? It's not going to happen anymore. That's it. And so before we start out the gate, I cut off somebody's head, cut off them foot, everything gone. Because I am determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past. So hopefully, and I can only speak for myself, is that I gain more balance. And I can say, okay, you know, there are certain things that I prefer in men, and I would rather not have to do without it. But if God sends me somebody that deviates from that, and I know that he cares for me, you think, no, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. So I think we have to be careful that we don't get too, and men do it too. What I got through with she, I'm not going through it anymore. But I promise you, one day you lay yourself careless and somebody gets you worse than the last one got you. So I think we have to be careful about statements that we make about any kind of relationship, because all it takes is a moment of vulnerability. One moment.
Let us talk about conformity. I remember this going back to my teenage years. I started this journey with my locks since I was a young teenager. And I remember a particular girl who I will leave nameless at this point in time. There was a young man from my Rasta commune who liked her. And he came and he expressed this, but knowing her parents, they weren't accepting that. So she told him that she likes him, but the locks were a problem. And he wanted us so badly, so bad. He went home, and the weekend when he came back, him coming down the street, but I didn't recognize him. I saw the walk, but there was something different. I said, no, that wasn't him. And then he showed up, and I was shocked. I sat there looking at him, and in his hand was a paper bag. And he said to her, no, could we be together?
Oh, no.
I cut off my locks and I bought them for you to show you. And she looked him up and down and she said, boy, you better go from here.
Okay.
I witnessed this, and he stood up there like totally lost. Like, what? I cut my hair for you. And she said, boy, go from here. Because she lost all respect for him at that point.
There you go.
All respect went out the window.
There you go.
Because he was willing to conform to get her, to appease her parents. But that's not what she wanted.
Yeah. I met a guy in New York years ago, and I was wearing my hair permed. It was down shoulder length. And whatever, I changed I know what happened. My hair started breaking out from the perm. So I made a decision one day when I went to the hairdresser, and my hair was coming out in her hands like this. And I looked at it and I said, I said, cut it off. And that's how I started wearing my hair this way. And then I let it grow up, but I wore it natural. And this Jamaican guy told me, you know, you women cut off your hair and you need to grow it back. And supposedly he was interested in me, but apparently his interest in me was based on whether I'd let my hair grow out. So one day he irritated me so badly. Well, I allowed him to irritate me. He said to me, you need to start perm your hair again. I said, I'll tell you what you do. Perm yours and tell me how it feels. And then we can talk.
So Karin, have you ever conformed, made sacrifices to please anyone other than yourself?
I made sacrifices or conformed within my marriage. Definitely did. I believe that the partnership, we have to sort of, give a little, give a little here and there, but nothing that goes against a core belief system that I've had. I don't, if it's, little things, make little adjustments in the house, little adjustments here and there, I'm fine with that. But when you go against who you are, as you've described it with the Rasta cutting his hair for someone, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Sam?
No, I don't.
Have you ever conformed to please someone other than yourself?
Many times. But I was a lot younger. That's a tall order right now.
What?
Very, very tall order right now. But there were times I
So wait, Sam. Yeah. I had to give you pre-questionnaire in order to know what you gonna answer. There you go again. No, this is not me. This is the woman. This is Karin. Let's say this. You're always playing it safe. What you afraid of?
Well, on your talk. Why you not chat to the man and stop pulling me that this is Karin.
Talk. Karin will say you're always political.
Chat.
Who I playing it safe?
Yeah, you're saying that's a tall order.
Well,
Leave it at the pulpit. Leave the truth at the pulpit.
I am getting into the answer, sir.
Oh, you're getting it? Okay.
Circuitously.
I am working my way into the answer.
All right, we waited.
I am working it in.
In the meantime, ask Mr. Chase.
I am working it
I'm working.
I'm working it, working it in, like, you know.
we listening.
I was
choose your adjectives wisely.
I was going to say when I was younger and immature on certain areas in my life that will remain nameless because those topics are not open to discussion at this time. That I gave in to conform. And, you know, there was a line where folks would like to make you over, and some of it was from the religious order.
Okay.
And, you know, you go and you ting, and you know, and then you realize
ting,
you know, ting. and then you realize that this is not my cup of tea.
Right.
Ting is not good.
Ting, not good, man. Ting, not good.
No, that is not the ting I'm talking about. I'm talking about the other ting. This is the other ting, not that ting.
Okay.
Yes.
My
the other ting.
Something.
And I realized that those things were not my cup of tea. So when I was a child, I speak as a child and do everything like a child and all the things. Then
Man,
I became a man, and I put away all that foolishness.
There you go.
That is my answer.
No more pretend.
Sam, boy, Sam, boy.
Mark, talk to me. Are you that stubborn and you held your own like I have done all my life? Or have you conformed in any way, shape, or form to please somebody?
I retired from that before I was born. I've been retired since the day I came out. No, I can't.
Really?
I can't do it. I can't. I end up so vexed.
Wait,
so vexed.
Wait, look, God gonna send somebody to mad you.
I sit there, you know. I will. Let me go and get my bourbon. You know what? You gonna make me go the hell on. Go the hell on. What you ask me that for? I've been saying this since I was a little boy.
But that is not good for you.
Oh no, man, you know what? Once I'm done. My blood pressure stays low.
Oh please. Once you're done, you're done. Ah, please.
No. I can't. I'm Mark, I wish you would
be the Sagittarian now.
Or do the next thing or wear this. What are you asking me that for?
So Mark, I never thought this day would come with me and you see eye to eye.
I don't see eye to eye. You got glasses on. That's a lie.
But we agree on this one. I have been so stubborn throughout my life that certain ideals that I hold on to, that I've held on to for forever and a day. And if they may change by now, ain't nobody could come along where I had to conform for their liking or to suit them, because I'm rigid, I'm binary with certain things in my life as to how
Dr. Henry,
talk to me.
No disrespect, sir. But do you think, seriously, I'm being very serious when I ask this, do you think that has done you well?
Yes.
Right
because
now,
we all have to
sister,
ask questions.
Right now, I am like that coconut tree by the beach that leans so and just barely turning up. That coconut tree can't straighten up. That can't straighten back up.
Is that a healthy thing, though?
No, well, the coconut tree bearing fruit, and it's easier to climb if you really pay attention. as to how that tree has grown. It's unlike any other tree outside there. Don't try to make me into the other trees.
Really good parallel. I will bend.
Okay.
But I won't conform. There was something that I was talking about with Karin earlier. This blasted microwave. For years, I would have it in my house. I ain't using it. You can cook whatever you want. Don't cook my food in there. I don't like it. Then I see my kids, they're heating up stuff fast. And still, I fought it. Now I heat water up in there. So I bend a little. It's in the house. But I still don't like it. I still don't like it. I don't think.
Why you have it in the house, though?
Huh?
Why you have it in the house?
I have it in the house.
Why?
I will bend. You want to use it? Go on. It's not me. I couldn't even tell you why, to be honest. But I think, something is not right about it. It's not right. Listen, no, I don't conform to anybody, anything, anytime.
Well, Mark, I threw mine away and nothing was wrong with it in terms of the operation of the device. I just decided enough is enough and I put it outside. End of story.
The operation of the device?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was working. Everything was fine. The machine worked fine. But I decided it no longer had a place in my life or in my home. So it had to go. I didn't even give it away. I threw it away.
Right.
That's it. No more microwave in my house.
I understand.
It had to go.
That's
how rigid I am in my ways and my stance towards certain things. So,
yeah, no,
gentlemen, ladies, answer me the question in terms of conformity and how you've held on to your beliefs. Let me see something here. I talk about influence. And Karin often speak about the experiment with the frog in water. And you begin to warm that water up until it slowly begin to boil. I think this is a perfect example of how we could influence someone to follow along with a program without pressuring them. You don't take the frog and drop it in a pot of hot water. You leave it in the water, the cool water, where he's comfortable, and you slowly turn up the temperature, and before you know it, the frog starts to boil and you don't even know. That is what I was talking about, influence. Influencing that person to make change that's better for them. Not just for you, better for them. Without pressure. Without that pressure. Because like that tree, if you try to pressure that tree to change, it's going to break. So you have to know how to bring it to that slow boil, as Karin often talk about. It's cruelty, but it works.
It's cruelty.
It's cruelty, but it works.
But it does work.
I want to ask you all something. For those who are stubborn, which each of us have described, and for those who may not have been stubborn at one point in time, how many of us now are living your true life based on your stance in life, the unwillingness to give in, the unwillingness to be changed, the unwillingness for anyone to force you? How many of us are living our true lives?
Glory, glory.
In the hands, put up your hand.
Glory, glory.
Put up your hand if you. All right. I'm glad to see that. So, Rachel, go on. So, right now, we're going to try to wrap it up at, give me all the closing remarks on this.
One thing I noticed when I thought about this is the difference between a request and a demand. We talked about this before the show. Of course, we all know this is the name of a song, Don't Make Me Over. Dionne Warwick is requesting. Please don't make me over. Respect me for who I am. You know? Listen to Shirley Thunder singing. She's telling you. Don't. Or I'm going to cut you low. Like Miss Judith over there. That's got to be a demand. Can't be a request. And if you come with that nonsense, now I'll respect what you want. I'll listen to you. I'll hear you out. You know, Mark, you know, it'd be better for me if you didn't drink. It'd be better for me if you didn't smoke. And I will look at you and I will hold your hand and say, I respect who you are and what you're saying. But there's certain things I will not do. Now, if you ask me not to do it in front of you, I'll be more than happy.
Oh Lord.
I'll be more than happy. If that's all you're asking, okay, I have no problem with that. I have no problem at all. But if you're asking me to change me, oh, it's you're mad. You're mad. You might as well go on, because that's gonna vex me. So,
Karin, talk to me.
In closing, sometimes you fall in love. You're willing to make changes to accommodate someone, but make sure you can live with it. Do not deny what is inherently yours. Your right to be true to who you are. Because when you compromise on core beliefs, you'll compromise on everything. And I'm not willing to do that. That's it.
Preach, sister. Amen.
Dr. Judith.
I change. Not my core beliefs, not stuff that, means everything to. Certain things I will not change. I won't change my hair. I will not do that for anybody. I won't try to be lighter because somebody prefers lighter. I won't try to gain weight or lose weight because I believe one of the things that I have a major issue with, if you met me this way and you were attracted to me this way, what is it that makes you want me to change all of a sudden? That's an issue for me. And so basically, I like honesty. Honesty is a sweet, fresh air to me. I love it. So for me, I will not change certain basic things about myself. But I do believe this. If you can't be honest, as Mr. Mark Chase said, go on. Just go on, because I ain't going to deal with it. I'm not dealing with dishonesty. If there are certain things, now, like Mark just said, people have said to me, such as, I said, listen, it's okay. I appreciate you telling me that, but I can't do it. I'm sorry, but I can't do that. And people tell me, such and such, if you would just, I said, no. It's okay for you to stay that way, but I can't deal with that. And I'm grateful that I can say that and mean it. Thank God it doesn't have anything to do with spirits and bottles or cigarettes and stuff like that. But seriously, that's one of the things I'm very grateful. I'm very serious about. I actually thank God for that I'm not addicted to anything, that I have no great desire. And I'm not saying you're addicted, Mark. I'm saying I'm grateful I don't have anything like that I have to have, because I would be very annoyed at myself. But bottom line is, this is how I am. This is how you met me. There's certain things that I believe if there's certain things you can do, whether it's a brother, sister, mother, father, child, mother, whatever. Let me tell you, there's times when I talk to my son and I hear myself, I'm like, that doesn't sound too cool. And I apologize to him. Now, I could easily say, well, I'm the parent. No. I'm a human being and he's one too. So if I find myself out of line, because I have certain things that I live by, and when I find myself out of line with those, I have to bring myself back in order. And one way to do that is to say to Taryn, I'm sorry. What I said, I meant, but I shouldn't have said it that way. The tone, and this could happen, especially since I've been sick. It's happened quite a few times. So the core of who I am stays the same, but I give people room, because just as I'm imperfect, so are they. Okay. So that's it.
Sam?
Yeah. So, you know, I had an experience once, and this was in the music business, and you know, I had my style of writing, and I had a meeting with the A&R, and they had a group, and it said, this group is Boyz II Men meets Judith. We're trying to find this type of material. Then, so you try to find a medium, like, okay, well, what is Boyz II Men meets Judith? What does that really mean? So now I have to go out of my element to try to appease A&R who may or may not like the how it would come out. And these were the days you didn't have the leisure of having the actual artist that you're trying to pitch the material to. So now you had to find someone else to try to sing this to see if the label would like it and all of that. So now, at some point, I was literally going out of who I am, or changing my standard to try to meet what A&Rs wanted. And then, so that was even one of the things where at some point I just say, you know what, I'm not even doing that again. I'm not taking any meetings. I'm not doing no demo and run you down. I'm not running up to a label and try to shop anything. I wrap that up. I'm not going to kill myself with them kind of nonsense. You want something that I doing? You come and you talk to me about it, and then
yes, sir.
Case closed. So you got to have your personal standard. All right. I went all around the world to learn that. Have a standard. If you don't have a standard, they're going to fall for anything.
Yes, sir.
Have your thing, and then move with it, and you roll with that. And I think that will help somebody who is jumping all over the place like jumping jacks. And we can find just find a spot, man, and work with that.
Yes, sir.
And keep it
Amen.
moving. Yeah, man.
Hallelujah.
Simple. I see Dr. Judith like that. Why is she like?
True.
Well, my closing words, I'd like for everyone to learn how to, should I say, celebrate diversity. Embrace the differences in each other. Variety is the spice of life. It would be rather boring if everybody just the same in an environment. Imagine coming out into a parking lot and your car is gray and everybody else's car is gray. How would you find yours? If your car don't stand out from everyone else's, how would you find your car? Learn how to remain original without offending. Be the example and not try to convert anyone. Be the example. Karin spoke just now about falling in love. I often say when things fall, they tend to break. So I don't fall in love anymore. I walk in love. It's okay to influence. It's okay to influence someone, you see, but by no means ever try to make them over.
I agree.
Don't ever try to make anybody over. Make yourself over. And hopefully your influence will help someone to make necessary changes in their lives. If there's one thing I've learned tonight, one brand new lesson, it's a phrase. I don't know who said it originally. I hope it is from you, Mark. Church is not a sanctuary for the saint. It is a hospital for the sinner. I
Correct.
love that quote. And
But
that is what I'd like to leave. That is what I'd like to leave everyone with tonight. And leave the listeners with. Church is not a sanctuary for the saint. It is a hospital for the sinner.
No.
Remember that.
No, it's not. Sorry.
Remember that. You go to church and you want to know what he doing here, what she doing here, what this one doing there. That is where they need to be. In the church. That is where they need to be. That is where they go to find the salvation. It is not for the perfect, those who have everybody inside of their perfect and everybody already converted. No, that's where they're supposed to go to be healed, to the church. So it's the hospital for the sinner. I agree with that. And that's the word I'd like to leave to depart with tonight. Gentlemen, ladies, it's been a pleasure. It's been a great show, mellow vibes. See you all next week. God bless. Everybody walk good. Peace.